Welcome to Marketplace with Charles, brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you, as well as Kuwisa Lodge, where dreams do come true, situated in the heart of Mabalingwe Nature Reserve. Well, whenever I'm there, I always enjoy the viewing of the Big Five. I don't have to go and hunt for them. They come right at the doorsteps. That is the beauty of Kuwisa Lodge. On Marketplace, we aim to empower, to encourage, and equip you, the viewer, with the right tools that you need to move closer to you achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we bring you insights from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith. You will recall last week, we had a dynamite on the studio. He inspired me so much. But unfortunately, we never managed to finish our conversation. And as much as he has promised, he is here again to take the topic further. We still meet this man full of experience, full of knowledge when it comes to retail industry. He's a former national chairperson for BP Dealer Council and FRA board member. He is owning 9+ fuel stations across the country. His name is none other than Sbonelo Mbatha. Sbo,
Yes.
Once again, welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thank you for having me again. It is always a pleasure to come to your lovely studios and to meet your viewers.
You see, last time I remember you said you are a product of two beautiful parents.
Absolutely.
Is it still the same?
It is still the same. Yes, they're lovely people. I would love for you to meet them one day. Let me know when you're in KZN. They will slaughter a chicken for you. Every friend of mine that I bring there, they make sure that they live with a homegrown chicken.
You know what I'll do?
Yeah.
You'll make me go to KZN tomorrow.
Please do.
Just for the chicken. Sbo,
Yes, sir.
allow me to call you Sbo.
Yes.
I'm not going to waste time this time around.
Now we're good friends now.
Yeah. And I really appreciate the time that we had last week.
Thank you.
You know, I don't know, if nobody out there has been inspired by your talk, I am.
Thank you.
At least I am.
I'm privileged.
Now, let's take the discussion further. Last week, we spoke about, we were just about to start about talking about the filling station.
Yeah.
If I get this question so many times, if one wants to establish a filling station, where does he starts?
Yeah. You see, over the years, there hasn't been a formal institution that seeks to guide people that are interested in the fuel retail industry.
Yeah.
And that is why we started a company called PetroCONNECT. And if you may allow me, let me just elaborate a little bit on it, because it will touch exactly to the question that you are asking.
Yes, but you must also know, later on the program, I need you to go deeper into PetroCONNECT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So currently, people that are interested in getting into the fuel industry usually contact people that they know, or some of them would Google, information, with the oil companies. There's not really much that is out there, unfortunately. And that is where PetroCONNECT, as an institution that we established, seeks to bridge that gap and to give people the knowledge and the steps to follow if they want to pursue this as a career of choice, or rather a business that they want to embark on.
Yeah. Look, if I need to establish a filling station,
Yeah.
do I need to have a site of my own?
So there are different types of service station.
Yes.
There are service stations, so I'm going to use some big terms now because I want to sound clever.
But I will break them down, don't worry.
So break that. Yeah, break them down. So there are sites that we call dodos. These are dealer-owned, dealer-operated. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It means you own the property, you build the site, you are running the site that you own the property, right? And then there are those that are called COROs, company-owned, retailer-operated. Those ones are where the oil company has built a structure, built a service station, and has leased the operations to somebody like you and I. Those would go for a period of anything between 3 to 5 year leases, renewable leases. The large number of service stations in the country are that type of service stations. Now, how does one buy a service station like that? So if I own a service station of that nature, I would inform the oil company that I have intentions to sell the service station. I am not allowed, or in more cases, I am not allowed to sell direct to you just because we know each other. So the oil company will say, if you sell, bring it to me. They will then advertise, or PetroCONNECT will advertise in their site, and take 3 people for interviewing processes. Then they will select one if they find somebody suitable of those 3. If not, they will still go out and re-advertise. There are processes that they follow, qualifying processes and all those sort of things. Then there is funding that becomes critical in this whole process. Access to funding, how much of your own unencumbered capital you're going to put down, how much are you going to be borrowing, and. So those are processes currently that are there. And I have to admit, they are not very easy processes to follow. It may appear like there is a red tape, and not so many people would just ordinarily have access to them.
Sbo, you said these are not easy processes. Last time we spoke about the barriers to entry. And you said and promised the viewers that you're going to dwell on the barriers to entry and how we can overcome them.
Sure.
Can you do that?
Let us try and break this down. So I'm now going to zoom into PetroCONNECT. And I'm zooming in that because the PetroCONNECT exists because we try to solve the issues surrounding this whole barrier to entry and what can we do about it. So Mark and I, my partner, are both fuel retailers. And personally, I used to get not less than 5 requests. My PA will tell you, not less than 5 requests for people saying, I want to open a service station. How do I go about it? And because I couldn't keep up with one-on-one, then we started to say, but Mark, what if we rather do workshops?
Yes.
Then we started doing workshops in Durban, in Johannesburg, and we've got one coming up now in Cape Town. These workshops were aimed at giving people enough information for them to make a decision whether they want to pursue this or not. Remember that a lot of people just fall in love with the idea of having a service station, but they do not know what it takes to actually run a service station. And so we go through these workshops and we really unpack what this is. The idea then is that out of 100 people that have heard what this is all about, then maybe 50 will say, this is not for me.
Okay.
But 50 still say, but I still love this.
Yeah.
Then what do we do with the 50 that still say, I still love it? Then we designed a program under PetroCONNECT which we call a service station readiness program. In this program, we then open up for applicants that want to continue learning more about the service station. Now, before you take your hard-earned money that you've worked for all your life, and you are 50 years now, and you want to buy a service station, we're wanting to say, let us just be sure that you sure that you want to do this. Let us put you in a live environment, a service station. For 2 weeks, it is a program that is set. You will have your mentors, you'll have people showing you different segments of a service station, how to actually run a service station. The idea is that after 2 weeks, we then ask you that big question, do you still want this? And if the answer is yes, I still want this, then we want to take those people, we put them in a pool of people that are now ready. They are now ready. They know exactly what it takes to run a service station.
Yes.
They know the pitfalls. They know that they don't have to own a watch because you don't need one, particularly in the first 3 years.
Yeah.
So they understand all that. And then when they are in this pool now, we have another division within PetroCONNECT where we are now selling service stations. So people that are selling will come and advertise through PetroCONNECT. Then the idea is we first expose people that are in the pool and say, here's a service station, let us assist you to buying it. If capital is a problem, there is no cash, we are now finalizing a product where we will have a pool of funds to assist those people within PetroCONNECT. However, if we cannot fund them, because it's not a large pool of funds, I mean, it will be in the tune of maybe 100 or 200 million rand.
Yeah.
So there's not so many people that can have access to that. But we have strategic partners, like in KZN, we're working very closely with Itala as an institution. We have relationships with the likes of Nedbank, where we are able to take these individuals and say they have undergone through a process with PetroCONNECT, they are certificated, and they stand a better chance to make a success of the business. But what we then do is, when a successful transaction takes place, here is a mentee of ours or a graduate from PetroCONNECT Academy, and they have bought a site. We have then committed to mentoring that individual for a period of at least 12 months post the takeover.
Yeah.
So when they are now operating, remember that this person some of them have never run a business before. And so we then put our systems in place. So there are systems that we have developed over the years, which make it quite easier to run and control your cash flows, your stock, and all those sort of things. So we will put those systems in place. We'll assign a mentor for this person just to make sure that we make it harder for them to fail.
I like it when you make it harder for them to fail.
Absolutely. It is going to be difficult. You're going to work very hard to fail.
Because one of the challenging aspects within the fuel industry that I've identified is that the petrol price is not the same every month.
Yeah.
And at times, you get the notification very late.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, 3 months back, there was supposed to be a fuel hike.
Yes.
And some other guys overstocked. And after they overstocked, the government decided to subsidize.
Yes.
So it went flat.
Yes.
And you have spent money that you do not even have to overstock.
Yeah.
Last month, again, the petrol price was supposed to go down. I think by 40, 45 cents, something like that. But the government came into the picture. They said, no, we have subsidized you before.
We're taking it back.
Now we're taking it back.
Yeah.
And most of the people, they ran empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a difficult industry.
It is not a very easy industry, which is why the failure rate has been quite high. And that is why I have personally taken it upon myself to ensure that if there is anything one can do, if you can hold one person's hand and make sure that they are not part of the statistics for people that have failed, or have done very well. There are dynamics about it. Cash flow is one of the biggest problems in this business. You must remember, the fuel retail space, it is illegal to sell petrol on credit.
Yes.
And because of that, it's a cash business. On daily basis, you can be banking 200, 300,000 rand a day. But that doesn't mean that it's all your money. Your margins are quite small, but the cash that you are collecting is very high. And the government loves our industry because we're one of the biggest tax collectors in the country. And people don't know that. The problem then is it is much easier to get tempted when you see a couple of zeros in your bank account to think that you actually are rich. And you go and start making stops at some fancy garages just because you think you can afford some cars.
I'm just thinking, if the petrol price goes up by 95 cents a liter, and you have got 115,000 liters underground, you must fill it up before the price increase. That's a huge amount of money.
It is a huge amount of money, which does require quite a hefty cash flow, to keep it going. But, there's science behind this. So you need to, when you run a service station, you end up knowing what is going to happen the previous month. More like mid-month, we would have an idea. Is it going up? Is it going down? If it's going up, what do I need to do? I probably need to try and get more cash because I need to fill up my tanks. At least a day before price increase, I can make an extra 20, 30,000 rand, 40,000 even, depending. But unfortunately, when you do not understand the science behind this whole thing, you stock up a Tuesday and the next day petrol goes down. You can lose 50, 60,000 overnight. And so that is where you need a mentor. You need somebody who's gone through this journey, who will then take you by hand and say to you, stock up, don't stock now, stock the next day. But how do you manage that without making sure that your customers you don't run dry and customers come and you don't have fuel, because that's the worst thing you can do. And so there's lots of dynamics around it, around managing the service station itself. Because think about it. When people come from corporate, you were a marketing manager. And anybody who came to you saying, look, I want to take a day's leave tomorrow, you'll say, no, I don't deal with that. Go to the relevant department. But when you own a service station, you become all in one.
Yes.
You become a marketer, you become HR, you become a financial person, So it is not an easy business to run. And that is why we put a lot more emphasis on mentorship. We've put a lot more emphasis on somebody that's going to hold your hand, somebody that's going to become your soundboard.
Let's talk of PetroCONNECT.
Yeah.
Holding my hand.
Yes.
So that it's hard for me to fail. What are the cost implications to that?
So the 2 weeks program, as it stands, like the first group that we're taking, those people are paying 20,000 rand per person. And it's just to cover the costs because we've got a lot of professionals behind it. We've got mentors. We do the assessments. For example, we do a psychometric assessment because we need to understand the type of individual that you are. And from the reports that we get, what sort of development plan that is needed to make sure that where you're needing much more help, you get assistance in boosting those areas where you still need developments. So we do your criminal checks because it is important. It's part of what the oil companies go through. We do your creditworthiness check because we have to lend you money. So we need to make sure that you are creditworthy. And so these are all the things. So it will cost you, at the moment, it's about 20,000 Rand. The costs may change depending on a few things that are in the pipeline, like the CETA. We're talking to the CETA now to sponsor some of these things, and we're also talking to some of the corporate banks to also sponsor.
But 20,000 is not that much. I'm saying it. I'm not saying 20,000 is really not much. I'm comparing to the value that I extract from the whole system. I'm
Absolutely.
comparing it to the fact that you are guaranteeing me almost not to fail.
Yeah.
For 20,000 Rand. And for someone who goes into this business without any mentorship, without going through your program, you goes there and start a filling station, and all of a sudden, boom, he loses millions of rands.
Absolutely. It is really, I just wish that many people would look at it in that perspective. But what we're trying to do is just to try and make sure that many people can have access to this. Are we saying that everybody who comes in will get a service station? Certainly not. Are we saying that we are guaranteeing everyone? Certainly not. More like when you go to varsity. You pay fees, they accept you, you go through 3 years, but they will never guarantee that you will get a job. But all we're trying to do is to make sure that these barriers that you've heard before, we try and remove as many of them as we can in order to make it much easier for people like yourself, like everyone else, to access these opportunities. Remember that you will now not have to look for where do I find one. We will be giving you a platform where you are seeing service stations that are coming up. Not only are you buying by yourself, what we are aiming to do, you must remember that we are entering a season of transformation within the sector. I have a lot of my white friends that are genuinely asking me a question, and they say, Sbonelo, where do I find black people? And I laugh because I always say to them, but they are 80% population of the country. You look to the left, to the right, front, back, you will see one. Definitely, you bump on one everywhere you go. But I understand what they're saying. They're not saying, I can't see them. But they're saying, I can't find them. So there's a difference. When you're finding something, you're finding something that you are specifically looking for. There are certain specifications that you're looking for. And if you cannot find those, so we are now saying, let us help you find them, or we can find them for you. So through this pool, we're saying, hey, my friend, you're looking for a black partner, we have found some for you. There's certain things that we've already done that you don't have to do. For example, one of the things we do, remember, we would have done your psychometric assessment. So we know what type of an individual you are. How do we match you up? So my friend Van der Merwe is looking for a black partner, but I can see that they will not be compatible. Then I can advise and say, my friend, you're looking for a partner. Yes, she or he is black, but he's probably not compatible. But here's another one that would be compatible to you. And you may ask a question, how do we determine compatibility? We're not experts in these. So we work with a lot of professionals who guides us and say, a person with this personality and that personality seem to be working well together, and people with this and that personality don't seem to work together. So one of the things that I personally do when I look for a partner, like for example, Mark and I, we're very different. Absolutely, totally different. And a lot of people, when they look for partners, they look for people that are like them. And for me, I look for the opposite.
Yeah.
Because the purpose of partnership is that you need to find somebody that will complement your weaknesses. Now, if both of us have strengths in similar things, we will both not have strength in similar things also.
You don't want to duplicate yourself.
Absolutely.
Because if me and you are exactly the same, then one of us is not necessary.
What is the purpose?
Let's talk on PetroCONNECT.
Yeah.
If people want to get hold of Sbo,
Yes.
how do they do it?
So I would encourage people to go to our website, which is www.petroconnect.co.za. And people that are wanting to get involved with us, they can register on the website, on a relevant website. But if you're selling a site, you can register there. You want to buy, you can register on the database. You want to get involved in the academy that I spoke about, you also register there. So I've got a team of people that will gladly get in touch with you. Or if you want to phone us or you want to send us an email, you can send an email on info@petroconnect.co.za, or you can actually phone us on 08611 Petro, 08611738876. So you can get a hold of us in all those platforms. Or you can follow me on Facebook, Sbonelo Mbatha. We can have a chat.
I'm definitely on my way. You'll see me soon.
Thank you, sir.
And Sbo, thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for motivating us. We have learned a lot from you. I hope my viewers as well have learned so much.
It has been an absolute pleasure to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Well, viewers out there, I am Charles Ngobeni signing off on Marketplace with Charles. You can get hold of me on charlesngobeni.com or on Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni, or you can go on Facebook and click like me. I'll appreciate you here and communicate with you. Well, see you next time, same channel, and may the good God bless you.